Hello, my name's Jo and I'd like to welcome you to this promotional video for the FSC's new digital and outreach packages. Today we're going to be looking at what's on offer across all of our centres and then focusing specifically on the digital and advanced digital packages and what they consist of. So first, it's worth recapping that we have 5 levels of Fieldwork course on offer at the moment to allow for the restrictions put in place to maintain COVID security. You can see from this list that we have a digital offer and an advanced digital offer. These are both fully virtual with no real-life fieldwork. Next is a blended offer, which is a mix of digital learning combined with a real-world fieldwork visit. The 4th level is an outreach offer. If you can't come to us, then maybe we can come to you. And the last one, the Centre Learning Package, is our business as normal, with schools visiting us at centres for standard day trips. This video then is to inform you as to how the digital and advanced digital packages can help you and your students who are studying biology at the 16 to 18 age group. The topics covered in these resources are relevant to A-level specifications, IB biology, ESS, and the Scottish Highers. You can see here that we've developed an introductory module called Ecology Fieldwork Skills, and then 2 topic-based modules, Rocky Shore Ecology and Sand Dune Succession. These could be bought and used separately or as a suite of 3, as they cover different skills and knowledge. To consider more closely the differences between the digital and the advanced digital offers, the easiest thing to do is to look at this table. The digital offer provides teachers with a guidance document, a pre-course task for the teachers to lead, the fieldwork video with the student handout to run alongside it, the dataset which is collected at site, and a follow-up guidance handout. This offer allows teachers to lead the session in class with guidance on how to prepare the students for the fieldwork video. In addition to this, if you buy the advanced digital package, it gives you the teacher a fully resourced and interactive introduction video with a handout, and the same for the follow-up. The introduction covers the tasks that a teacher would need to do in the digital package themselves, such as covering topic content and investigation setup, for example, setting hypotheses with the students. The advanced digital follow-up also allows teachers to utilise FSC expertise in data analysis, statistics, and drawing and evaluating conclusions. For the digital package, teachers would need to ensure that this was done themselves so that the investigation is followed up properly. There is a guidance task to help with this. Hopefully then that gives you an idea of the differences between the digital and the advanced digital packages. Now we're going to look at some of the teacher guidance documents. So this is an excerpt from the guidance document for the Rocky Shore digital package, and you'll have access to these when you purchase either the digital or advanced digital packages, although they are slightly different in content. And these documents are vital in ensuring that teachers can get the most out of the resources and are able to integrate them into the learning scheme at school, so that you know what to expect and you also know what your students need to know. Especially for the digital package, it allows the teachers to prepare their students and they know exactly what's required before the fieldwork video. And then they're also going to be giving information on what to do to follow up the fieldwork video as well. What we'll do next then is to showcase some of the handouts and the resources that would be available to you if you purchased either the digital or advanced digital resources. Here is an example then of a Sand Dune pre-course task. So this is a level 1 or digital package pre-course task. So this would be the teacher leading this in class with their students to prepare them for the fieldwork video. And as you can see, there's some suggested research topics and some suggested activities to do there. Here then, in contrast, you can see the Advanced Digital Introduction handout. So this is to run alongside the pre-recorded video for the introduction. So the students would be able to watch the video, and there are interactive activities and questions for them to do. So you can pause the video and give you time to do those tasks in class. And you can see as well that it kind of leads you through all of the information that you would need to know pre the fieldwork. So this is page 1. And then on page 2, you've got some different questions, and then setting up the hypotheses for the fieldwork and looking at the variables and measurement. So this would all be done through the pre-recorded videos. The students would be able to do this alongside watching that video, and that would thoroughly prepare them for that fieldwork video that they're going to see. And here then is an example of one of the fieldwork handouts. So this is the Ecology Fieldwork Techniques package, and this would run alongside the fieldwork video. So again, as students are watching it, it can be paused in order for the tasks to be done, and it carries on through the whole fieldwork video with space to write everything down and questions along the way. So if you had use the digital or the advanced digital package, the fieldwork handout and fieldwork video would be the same. So the difference really is that the teacher, the onus is on the teacher for the digital to prepare them for this fieldwork video, whereas in the advanced digital, obviously you have a resource to prepare them that has been made by us. And again, this handout then is going to go through the whole of the video. So you can see that for example, in the Ecology Fieldwork Techniques example, then we go through things like mark, release, recapture and pitfall traps, covering advantages, disadvantages of using those techniques, and ethical considerations as well. Okay, and then another page looking at choice chambers and then some freshwater sampling techniques. So moving on to think then about the fieldwork videos. So these would be the videos that the students are watching whilst they're filling in that fieldwork handout. And we're just going to show you a couple of snippets now.
So before we go on to conduct any fieldwork or collect the data, we need to remind ourselves first of all of our 3 hypotheses. So number 1, as height on the shore increases, species richness overall will decrease. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, as height increases on the shore, algae distribution will change. Okay? And then finally, number 3, as height on the shore increases, limpet diameter, shell diameter, will decrease. Okay? So now what I'd like you to do with a socially distanced partner or group or in your class, have a discussion about how you might structure an investigation to test these 3 hypotheses. Okay? So the sorts of things you should be thinking about. You should be thinking about independent variables, you should be thinking about dependent variables, control variables, abiotic variables, anything you might want to measure alongside. The other things you need to be thinking about, what field equipment you're going to use and what sampling strategy you're going to use as well. Okay, so you can pause this video for a good 5 minutes or so, have a discussion in amongst your group and try and have a think of what you would do to test those 3 hypotheses. Okay, cool. So we're just about ready to collect data. We're just going to go through a quick run through in a quadra in detail before you guys get started with your own data collection. So this quadrat has been set up. This is our bottom one. This is pretty much the lowest on the shore we're going to get to with this tide. It's pretty much bang on low tide now. So we're going to look at these organisms inside, quantify them, have a little look at some of their adaptations, and then it'll be over to you guys. So to start off with, when you look at a quadrat on the rocky shore, as you can see, it's not completely flat on the ground as it would be potentially, you know, on a mown playing field. There are lots of layers to it, and you do need to look through those layers. So to start off with, the best thing to do is look at the organisms that you can see just on the surface, and particularly the ones that are most abundant. So the first thing that I can see here nice and clearly is my seaweed species. This seaweed is called Fucus serratus, is a scientific name, or serrated rack is the common name, or one of the common names. And this is one of the species that you're going to be looking at. So it's a typical species that you would find low down on the rocky shore. It doesn't live high up the shore because it has adapted to life lower down. It has adapted to survive those kind of challenging light conditions, but it gets that benefit of the more stable sort of temperature and moisture availability. So it's a nice flat frond, nice big surface area to help increase that amount of light it can absorb, help increase and increase photosynthesis. It has accessory pigments in its leaves or in its fronds to help absorb different wavelengths of light, again that way to adapt to lower light conditions. And some of the classic sort of ways to identify it are these flat fronds, but particularly as the name suggests, it's got these really jaggy serrated edges along the edge of the frond. So we are going to quantify how much serrated wrack is in our quadra, and we need our SAC4 scale to do that. So I'm going to turn to my SAC4 scale. Now this again is a brown seaweed, like the example we kind of talked about earlier, so I can look at my scale and work out what scale it is I'm going to be using, and again it's scale 4, so that's our brown seaweeds. So if I look at scale 4, it's a percentage estimate, so most of our seaweeds are going to be a percentage estimate that we work out and then look at what category that falls into.
So once you've watched those fieldwork videos then and filled in the handouts, it's then on to the follow-up. So remember, for the advanced digital, you will be getting a pre-recorded follow-up video and handout that the students will fill in, and that would look, for example, like this. So this is the sand dune succession one. So it's going to run through the results and analysis and set the tasks for the students to go through that route to inquiry. So you can see here that they'll be collecting their calculated results and then looking at species diversity. Obviously there are different options for the different diversity indices relevant to your board, and that those would just be a choice that you make as a teacher. And then that would go into looking at statistics, which would be run through in the video, and the students do on the handout alongside. So hopefully this gives you a fair idea of what you're purchasing if you take up the digital or advanced digital offer. Obviously there are other options, so the blended offer, which we said consisted of the digital introductions and follow-up. So they're similar to these ones, but obviously the topics aren't necessarily the same, but those are downloadable and those in advance of that planned day trip in real life. The outreach offer, where there isn't any digital provision at all, so the tutor that would come to your site would deliver any of 3 A-level biology topics. So there's woodland, freshwater and grassland, but obviously that would depend on what you have at your site. And then our day visit offers as well, still running, coming to us for the day or an extended day to complete your normal courses that you've done with us in the past. Just unfortunately at the moment, no residential offer. So for more information on any of these, please visit our website or speak to one of our dedicated education advisors by following the links. Thanks very much for taking part, and I hope it's helped.